I, of course, I'd have no audio. Hey, everybody, it's Kellen here from Start Your Systems. Look at all these awesome technical difficulties I'm having. Okay. Welcome back to round number 14 of the 2020 MotoOption SX. Live here from Denver on Start Your Systems. My name is Kellen Brower. Of course, bringing you guys the action here tonight. We're trying to get loaded into 250 heat number 1. I think that they have just figured out the scripting issues. We had server issues for qualifying. I was perfectly fine for 45 minutes of broadcasting, and then 7 o'clock on the dot hit, and Spectrum decided to go and take a dump. And so now we are sitting here waiting to go racing again, and hopefully we can get started. East-West showdown going on tonight, so I'm not sure which heat is coming up first. It's either East or West, but we'll jump in server and check it out. Hopefully we are good now. I'm keeping an eye, I'm monitoring the situation, and hopefully our bitrate stays similar and we'll be good to go. So it looks like the West class is actually up first. They are getting lined up for their heat race right now, and I think those issues have been fixed. Yeah, all right, here we go. Lineup check is done. And we are set to go racing tonight here in Denver. Finally, after, well, let's see, when were we supposed to go racing? About 50 minutes ago? About 50 minutes ago, we were supposed to go racing, but unfortunately, things happen in this world, and we're still trying to provide you guys with a little bit of entertainment tonight, so hopefully we'll sit back and enjoy round number 14 of the MotoOption SX Series live here on SYS TV. 250 West heat race, which is 250 heat number 1, lined up on the gate for the showdown tonight in Denver. It's a mile-high showdown. Let's drop that gate. We are off and racing. Big rush into turn number 1. The 65 gets there first. The 49 across is trying to cut underneath, and it will be Zoe Cross who gets the whole shot. He might be passed immediately, and he will be passed by Braden Carter, who has been dynamite this year, has so many race wins, and has a chance at clinching the West Division Championship here tonight if he can leave with a 78-point lead or more. Or I'm sorry, if he just leaves with a 52-point lead or more, because there's only going to be 2 rounds of the West after this. So Braden Carter in a really good spot here if he just scores some good points to go home as a champion here tonight. So Carter leads. Dale Mullins, he'll settle into second. We got Zoe Cross back in third. Luke Sullivan in fourth. Craig Richards trying to make the move into fifth. He just got passed by Ben Seberg around the outside, and Seberg tries to defend that inside, goes through that little inside rut. That's going to be an interesting line developing as these corners kind of get blown out with the road and stuff. So Seberg taking advantage of it early to keep Mr. Richards behind him. Zoe Cross sliding out on the start straight, so he's going to lose a position there to Luke Sullivan. Sullivan almost was to that turn first. He got bumped a little bit wide, and Cross eventually took the whole shot, but he was able to not go down after he got bumped wide and get going right behind them. And Cross just made the move back around them after they missed that rhythm lane. This is going to be a tricky first rhythm section for these 250 guys tonight. Really peaked out jumps and kind of big gaps too. It's not a normal rhythm section that we normally see here in Race Factory Gaming competition. This rhythm section may be a little bit easier. These guys are going to go on-off, a big triple in the middle and then a triple out. Most likely the line we'll see in both classes here tonight. Meanwhile, out front, Braden Carter making it look easy peasy lemon squeezy as he pulls away from everybody. Couple laps in the books, looking at probably 8 laps here in this heat race. It's a 6-minute plus 1 lap heat race, and lap times hovering in those low 50s, high 49s range for these 250 guys. So probably going to be pretty close. Maybe we'll get 9 laps in. And, oh man, I see Race Carlin jumping in chat right now. One of our 450 class regulars, he is saying that he is also not racing tonight due to internet issues. So the internet is imploding on April Fool's Day. Not sure exactly why. Server issues for Race Factory, myself having some internet issues. Now Race Carlin's going to be out for the night. That's a bummer to hear. But just kind of hitting a lot of people here as we got a battle for second. Zoe Cross has made the move on Dale Mullins, but that 231 machine, the CV ride, wants to get back by if he can. Jumping that tight step up down the inside. And Mullins is actually going to get back down the inside. Let's see if Cross can square him back up and get the spot back. No, he's going to be on the outside this time, and Mullins will hold that position. Cross going to try to get back up underneath of him, but can't quite get there. Actually missed the rhythm a little bit. It's going to allow Ben Seberg on the 38 to close back up. And remember, this is the West Coast heat race, so this is really some of the 20 best West Coast riders. Of course, qualifying is going to eliminate some of the people that are actually top 20 in points, because there's going to be some hot lappers that get in over excuse me, the regular main event perennial guys that are maybe just a regular speed. But for the most part, it is 20 of the best sprint lap guys in the West Division. And Seberg, Daniel Mills back in 5th. Luke Sullivan is 6th. Jace Blakely 7th. Hubbard in 8th. And Hewen has moved into 9th on the 335, I should say. So the CV team out here trying to hold steady. Devin Davis coming up from behind on the 51, and on the 30, and Rogan McIntosh on the 51. Getting my names kind of split up here. McIntosh not going to get the preferred line. It might cost him a spot here as Benjamin Saves goes down the inside. Craig Richards is also back here battling with these guys. That whoop section kind of tricky too off of Dragon's back. Oh, Richards, he's going to go down. Oh, and poor old Benjamin Saves gets hung up in the corner there. So Hewen has actually lost a spot to Devin Davis here. And as of right now, that is the final transfer spot still. So Devin Davis occupies that final transfer spot. He's hovering over that step up into the corner. Big whip over the finish line jump, laying it over. Creeping up on 5 minutes into this one. And of course, we will go 6 minutes plus 1 lap. So as soon as that 6 minute mark expires, white flag will be coming out next time by for our race leader, which is Braden Carter. But we're watching this battle for the final transfer spot. Devin Davis and Riley Hewen going at it. Hewen on that 335, the rider out of Australia, moving teams this week to CV. They moved to those orange machines. Devin Davis has been on this Mad Cape ride all year. In fact, he podiumed back at Anaheim too, and nearly got on the podium last week with a terrific ride. Almost called it a tremendous. It was a tremendous ride, Devin Davis. Just couldn't quite end up on the box. Just trying to get it into the main event tonight. That is always the pressure situation in these showdowns. Normally, this is a case where these guys should be pretty well off, just going straight into the main events and at least scoring points. But tonight, you might be the 11th best guy on your coast and not make the main event. So he's going to go down the inside of Dale Mullins. That's going to move him up to 8th, give him a little bit of breathing room. And the Australians are going to have to battle it out behind him. And in fact, they're going to battle it out with the ground as Mullins goes down. Hewen gets hung up on him. Has to get it turned around, but he is still going and has moved into 9th. White flag is waving out front, by the way. Our leader, Braden Carter, has opened up a nice little gap. Actually, it's not terribly huge. Ben Seberg probably about 2 seconds adrift, and Dalton Plessinger, who refuses to run his gear ever, is going a lap down there, so Plessinger not going to be too thrilled about his night, but Carter looks to be on cruise control just about out front. Gonna swing wide, get this on off nice and clean. Triple through this rhythm lane again, probably the preferred line in both classes. And then a wall jump, because wall jumps are always fun, especially in a game where front end lock exists. I mean, it just, you talk about obstacles that are just the best thing in sim, wall jumps. Braden Carter, though, going to stamp his ticket to the main event tonight in Denver with a win in the 250 West Division heat race. Ben Seberg is going to go through in 2nd. Daniel Mills is going to pick up 3rd over Zoa Cross and Luke Sullivan inside of the top 5. Chase Blakely in 6th, 7th for Hubbard. Devin Davis looks good in 8th, and Hewen all alone in 9th. So they were battling for the final transfer spot, and were the benefactor of Dale Mullins going down, moved themselves up into those final transfer spots together, and they are headed to the main event. The likes of Benjamin Saves, Dale Mullins, Craig Richards, Jake Warden, Rogan McIntosh, Dalton Plessinger, Jake Rose, Alana Solis, Robert Wilson, and myself in warm-up mode. We are all headed to that last chance qualifier, folks. So far, so good. Braden Carter in his quest to clinch the championship tonight in a really good spot to do so. I don't know the exact math, but I'd have to imagine it's something like anywhere inside of the top 15 clinches the title. Of course, he only needs a 52-point lead. Really going to be pretty easy when he has a 74-point lead in the championship to probably walk out of here with that. I think actually now doing that math, whoever is in second, I forget his name, basically needs to win here tonight. And if he doesn't win, then Carter will be your champion. Oh man, my old buddy Cody Hall is in chat here tonight. That's good to see him throwing it back, a little old school there. MXID, that was the first team I ever ran in this game back in 2012. And boy, did we have a host of characters on that team. It was a blast. Good to see some old friends showing their face in chat here tonight, Cody Hall. Hope everybody's having a lovely night this Wednesday, midweek action. Only 2 more days of the week left, folks. Thank you, Sam Jeffries in chat, for letting me know Carter needs 17th or better tonight. 17th. All right, coming up next, it'll be 250 heat number 2, but it is our 250 East heat race that we'll be watching. Of course, this one, Dominic Tiberino, Colby Eagland, Isaiah Dickerson, just to name a few of the guys that will be in this one. We think Logan Leitzel is here tonight, question mark. He won the last round that we raced back in... Where was that? Pontiac, Detroit. Gosh, it's all out of shorts here tonight. But yeah, so we think Leitzel should be here tonight. He was saying something about not having his computer earlier today, and he was on lockdown somewhere where he doesn't have his computer or something along those lines. But be a bummer if Leitzel doesn't get a chance to go for this championship here tonight. We have 5 guys separated by just 14 points in this championship. So it's going to be a barn burner, to say the least, if you know what I mean. All right, folks, here we go. And here he is, Logan Leitzel, right on cue. He is here tonight. Tanner Rogers, Copeland, another guy in the mix here for this championship. Kyler Hockey, Hillman, Bomer. Here's Eagland. He's won a couple races this year. Fugler, Tyron Tomich, defending champion Isaiah Dickerson, Billy Kunitz, Tyson Craig, Jonathan Alexander, Seth Garrett, William St. Laurent, and our current points leader by 2 points, Dominic Tiberino. So Tiberino, interestingly enough, is still looking for his first career main event victory in either the 250 or the 450 class in this game. That number 77 on his bike, that's not a national number, folks. That's a career number he earned back in, I think, 2015 or 2016. He's been really good at this game for a long time, and he's been on the verge of a victory for a long time, but just has not been able to put it all together just yet. Could it be tonight, the showdown? Sometimes we see some wild winners in the showdown. It's not always who you think it would be. The guys that run up front and win races a lot are not necessarily guaranteed to be the guys that win the races. So we're just kind of waiting to see how many people are in this race, actually. That's a better question. Again, only 19 people in this race. Not sure what's going on here. Again, scripting issues was a problem earlier. We only had 18 people. Yeah, Alex. Calling me out for all out of shorts. You know what? It's a new phrase. We're all out of shorts tonight, folks. We're all clapped out with jorts, no shorts tonight. All right. Heat 2. It's the 250 East heat here in Denver. It is underway. Huge jump out of the inside. Logan Leitzel on the number 18 is going to get to the corner first and then yard sale by himself. That's going to give Dylan Copeland the whole shot away from Colby Eagland. But Copeland just messed up the rhythm lane, so he's going to have to not get landed on does a nice job of it there. Gives Eaglin the lead. That's going to put Fugler in second, Billy Kunitz in third. Copeland drops back to fourth, but he's side by side with Owen Hillman on the 170. Down the inside goes Jalik Swoll. I'm kidding, that's Alex Kerr on the BPC number 352. He's getting passed by 2 people for 1. Bad line on the outside there. But then we have a stack up of epic proportions as Tyron Tomich and Tyson Craig hit the ground together. So that was quite entertaining as they collided. And they're going to get up together. Let's see if they collide again. Tomich down this inside will actually make contact with Tyson Craig. These two have magnets attached to each other. Tyson Craig still trying to get down the inside of Tyron Tomich. And he will do so very nicely before the finish line jump. So let's go back out front, kind of reset things here. It is Colby Eaglin on the 24 MV Films ride. He has won 2 main events this year already. He'd love a third one here tonight. Maybe take that red plate for his own after this one. Back in second, Gunnar Fugler of the team Tegrity, as I've been clarified this week. Thanks, Casey Ohlert, for letting me know how to pronounce that properly. Sometimes these guys change team names 14 times a year, so I normally just call it what it looks like to me, and if nobody corrects me, then I run with it. So it took till round 13 for someone to tell me it's Team Tegrity, not T-Gritty. Alex Kerr is back here, Dylan Copeland, and Isaiah Dickerson. Side by side, Dickerson's going to make the move on Copeland. Again, this rhythm section is going to be crucial here tonight. I'm going to go on board with Copeland until we get back around to it again, because I've noticed he's made a couple of mistakes in it. But that first rhythm section, you have to, on a 250 app, downside that first double so clean, just so perfect, so precise, or else you will have zero chance of getting the rest of the rhythm section clean. And that has been a couple guys in this 250 class already, as Copeland and Dickerson make the move around Alex Kerr. Copeland almost into the back of Dickerson. These guys battling over the 4th place position, and he's actually going to almost get past back there. I don't want to see Copeland. We come over the line here, 55.3. He's pretty consistent with these. Down the inside here, gets that front end tucked in, and then this is what I'm talking about. So right here, he has to double in, and if he gets this cleanly, he can triple and get over that triple and then triple into the corner. Look at how much time that can gain if you get it, as opposed to Dickerson, who did not get it. That's a pass right there, but Dickerson's fighting back, and we also have Tiberino coming up on the 77 trying to fight into the mix. So Tiberino on that 77 would like to make a move, swings outside. Copeland with that inside on-off. Oh, cross-jumping, not sure who it was from this angle, couldn't really tell. How in the world is Dylan Copeland still on 2 wheels? He just flipped and landed on his shoulders maybe 6 times and is still on 2 wheels, but it caused a massive pileup, which included Isaiah Dickerson, who is now outside of transfer spot. Oh, and now there goes Tiberino down to the ground. Tiberino has just laid it over on the ground. He is going back to 11th. 11th spot as they come to the finish line jump this time. Ooh, this is going to get dangerous quickly. Dickerson actually is able to remount in 9th. He's going to move to 8th as Tyson Craig was down. That puts Tyron Tomich back into the final transfer spot. Craig goes down. And Tomich still in the final transfer spot. Tiberino's moved up to 10th. Oh, swaps in the whoops from Tiberino. Man, that's going to be crucial if our red plate holder doesn't make it into this showdown tonight. Seth Garrett's up here, Dylan Copeland. And going off the track there's a 304, I believe. Is that Cooper Hunt? We went off the track right there. Dickerson down the inside of Seth Garrett's going to make the move. Is it 304 for position? Oh, yeah, it is. Cooper Hunt. Interesting. So I couldn't latch onto him because he was off the track skipping some timing gates. But yeah, this is for position, and I think this is now for the final transfer spot with Cooper Hunt and Tiberino right behind. Oh, a couple guys down. That's going to cause Tiberino to gain some positions. Who was down? That was Kerr, Copeland. Not sure if Leitzel was in there, but here comes Leitzel. He is in 12th. Ooh. And there goes Copeland down. A lot of these championship favorites in this 250 East division not really having a good go of it in this one. But this is actually kind of the status quo of this 250 East division. We have seen already this year in this class 3 consecutive weeks where the points leader didn't make it into the main event, and we might be on the verge of a 4th time of this happening. Tiberino has dropped back down to 10th. He is right on Alex Kerr here, but he also has to worry about Dylan Copeland and Logan Leitzel coming up from behind. Oh, Tiberino making another big mistake here. That might cost him another position. It definitely will. There goes Leitzel around. Tiberino has got to go get into these transfer spots, not wanting to go to this LCQ, because this is arguably the most stacked last chance qualifier we'll have all season long with the 2 classes together. Oh, Leitzel just went down, so Tiberino's going to go back by into 10th. Up and over some downed riders. He's going to move into 9th. He's trying to go put someone a lap down there, 79. Cooper Hunt was down, though. Cooper Hunt just went down again, so Logan Leitzel goes by. White flag is waving, and Tiberino is in the final transfer spot. Logan Leitzel is on the outside looking in this 250 East heat race. It is get nervous time for some of these guys here. Tiberino's going to nail the rhythm section. That's crucial. He'll make a pass on Alex Kerr. Meanwhile, up front, Colby Eaglin has taken the win. Owen Hillman is all alone in 2nd. Gunnar Fugler is 3rd. Isaiah Dickerson's moved up to 4th. Tyron Tomich is in 5th. 6th for William St. Laurent. 7th for Seth Garrett. 8th for Tiberino. And 9th for Alex Kerr. Tyson Craig, Cooper Hunt coming back here. No sign of no, Copeland was up here, wasn't he? No, he wasn't actually. I'm sorry. Copeland not in a transfer spot right now. Tiberino looks like he is going to be safe. Alex Kerr will go through. Copeland and Logan Leitzel going to miss out in this one. Tyson Craig, Cooper Hunt, Julian Bomer, Tanner Rogers, and Logan Leitzel. Logan Leitzel going to the last chance qualifier, as does Dylan Copeland out of this one. What a strange turn of events already we're having here, as it looks like everybody inside of the top 9 stayed the exact same. So 3 of our 5 championship contenders are good to go in this class. Eaglin made it through, Dickerson went through in 4th, and Tiberino made it in 8th. He's our points leader, of course, with those red backgrounds. But we also have 2-time winner in this series already this year, Logan Leitzel, sitting down in 14th, and former red plate holder Dylan Copeland sitting in 15th in this heat race, which means they're headed to the last chance qualifier. And yeah, they have to race their way in hard now, because this LCQ is going to be stacked comparatively to what they would normally be facing. Definitely not a spot they wanted to be in, and it is going to be crunch time when we get to those 250 LCQs here a little bit later on. Interesting to see people discussing Ralph Shaheen in chat, and I like Ralph as a guy. He's a very nice person. Having met him a couple times, he's super, super, super nice. But it's interesting how many people say, if Ralph ain't broadcasting, I ain't watching. But you do that for 12 of the 29 races every year, because Ralph doesn't call the outdoors. Like, do you just not watch outdoors? Is that what happens? All right, 450 heat race is coming up next. And this class might be a tad less stacked this week because we have nobody that would be opposite coast jumping up for this one. It is literally just the 450 bare bones, this one. So, yeah. 450 class, folks. Catch the fever. Again, hope everybody's having a good time. Very interesting, or I should say, trying time in the world right now. A lot of us obviously kind of doing the stay-at-home policy or self-quarantining or what have you. So I appreciate the fact that you guys chose us to tune in and watch this week. I always appreciate that we have a dynamic live viewer of an audience, that you guys show up and watch these broadcasts. Hope you're doing well wherever you are tonight, and hope things haven't got you down too much and you're making the best of the current situation. I know it's going to be tough for a lot of people in many different industries, disciplines, and jobs and stuff like that. So at the very least, I hope we're providing a little bit of entertainment for you guys tonight, and definitely wish the best for everybody out there getting their feet back underneath them once this is all settled, and hopefully everybody stays healthy, and we'll get through this together, folks. All right, here we go. Loaded into 450 heat number 1. Let's see, who do we have on the gate here tonight? I'm curious to see what 450 guys are lined up in this one. We definitely know Andrew Wood is not out here. He is misqualifying by 1/10 of a second this week, unfortunately. We have got Reed Young, Brock Pearson, Bryce Whelan, Alex Heckman, my boy is back, Caden Speck, Peter Like, Logan Heagney, Sean Smith, Jeremy Siebold, our points leader, Tyler Schmidt, Jeremy Siebold again, Ryan Turner, Jeremy Siebold a third time, Jeff Cooper, Jeremy Siebold a fourth time, Fred Heather, Hunter Root, Roy Mitchell, Alexis Leclerc, Eduardo Simos, Benny Landry, Kyle Carpenter, and myself in warm-up. So that is everybody that is going to be in this one. Do I have Hunter Root skins? I probably don't. Okay, folks, who you got on this one? I know who I'm going to on the start here. It's going to be Tyler Liturgist Schmidt in the middle here. I don't know what his middle name is, but he always rocks the L on the 175. Former 250 East champion. He rips hole shots all the time, and it's 450 heat number 1 in Denver. Off and running. Schmidt gets a good jump, but he's actually going to get out-jumped by Heckman on the outside. It's Leclerc who gets the hole shot, but Heckman in his first race back this year yards it in the second turn and is going to be way back. It's Leclerc away from Bryce Whelan. We got Benny Landry up here in the mix. We got Brock Pearson, Jeremy Cohenauer, Fred Heather, Sean Smith, and Hunter Root, whose skins I will never, ever have, even though he's on a team that I have everybody else skins, like Fred Heather up here. You know, not only is he on swapmotolive.com, he's on this Architect bike, and just so happens that I have both of his skins, but I don't have Hunter Root's. Not sure what's going on with that. Hunter Root, get it sorted, bud. We got who's out down. Benny Landry was down in the sand there, so he got hung up a little bit as everybody's kind of sorting their way through. And Sean Smith goes down before the finish line jump, so it's all kicking off here. No sign of Jeremy Siebold up front, though. Alex Heckman, Reed Young, Jeff Cooper, Peter Light, Caden Speck, Eduardo Simos, and then Jeremy Siebold. He is way back here. He's only got about 3 or 4 guys behind him. He's down in the 17th spot early for the Panini Motorsports machine. This is your points leader, folks. Only 15 points in it between himself and defending champion Jack Haley. Siebold's been pretty good this year, but down the stretch he has started to falter a little bit. He was really good after Russ Chapman was banned at, or before Daytona, I should say. And since then, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. Won a couple rounds, and then, honestly, since the break, yeah, it's just been downhill. So he's trying to get himself regrouped here. He would love to try to go straight into this main event and not have to go through an LCQ this week. Right on the back of 42, Reed Young, Alex Heckman on the 69 machine just in front of him. Reed Young holding the spot well. There's no slouch in this division. Even though I mentioned that the field may be slightly depleted without the opposite coast 250 riders hopping up and racing this event tonight, it is still stacked every week. And it is not easy to go from 17th to 9th in a heat race every time. Through the whoops we go. Oh man, Siebold, what a nice save, and avoids Reed Young, who flips off the track. Now he's applying pressure to Alex Heckman. Heckman gonna end up alongside Siebold here. Siebold down the inside is gonna make that move. Put the block there on Heckman. Heckman has to come to almost a complete stop. Now trying to get back underneath of him. Siebold tucks to the inside, uses the inside rut to his advantage. So 15th. And quite honestly, folks, he's still got a fairly long way to go to get to 9th. There's a little group up the road just in front of him, but it seems like 9th. I think 9th is right here in the whoop. Sean Smith, perhaps, Fred Heather, Tyler Schmidt all mixed in. So let's reset things just a little bit. Bryce Whelan has taken over the lead from Leclerc. So something happened to our race leader on the Rockstar Husky out front that puts the BPC number 34 out front instead and moves Leclerc back to 2nd. Jeremy Kohenauer sits in 3rd. And Hunter Root sitting in 4th here early on. Interesting to see Root back racing with us pretty frequently too. Especially because he has already lost his career number. He was career number 5 at one point and then chose... no, he was just career number 5 for that entire time. And then didn't race at all last year, so he lost the number. He is now back to what was his rookie season number when he won the 250 West Division back in the day at number 330. Jeremy Kohenauer, Race Factor Gaming president. He's had a wild night, to say the least. Things have definitely not gone as smooth as he would hope. Got Hunter Root breathing down his neck, though, and Root would love to make a pass here if he could. It's Kohenauer on that 13. Root on that completely white stock Husky back there, because I still don't have his skins. It's probably going to be a case where I have to go track him down somewhere. Oh, Leclerc was down. And Kohenauer is going to move into 2nd because of that. Not sure what happened to the number 7, but he was laying down in that berm. And Root cases the finish line jump. Leclerc into the back of Kohenauer, gets completely stood up. And Root trying to put the pressure on the number 7 of Leclerc here. And Leclerc trying to fight back. He goes underneath Kohenauer. What a move there. And a little dualies action over the triple as Root uses an outside line to pass Kohenauer and then loses the rear end traction. Might hold the spot on Kohenauer. Kohenauer is going to go 3-2 into this corner. Make that pass. So Leclerc fighting his way back through these guys as up front, Bryce Whelan has taken the white flag. One more lap to go. Leclerc, Kohenauer. Whoa! Somebody getting back on the racetrack right there. We got Root 4th. Brock Pearson is up in 5th. Tyler Schmitz at 6th. 7th for Mitchell. 8th for Fred Heather. And Siebold has made it into 9th. He is only about a 1.5 or 2 seconds, I should say, ahead of Jeff Cooper. So anything could happen back there. But on this final lap of the race, Bryce Whelan, cruise control. Good heat race for the number 34 machine. Former winner in this series. Has had a pretty good season so far, quietly so. Don't feel like you would have noticed him that much. But he's had a good year so far. Has Bryce Whelan as he takes the win. 450 heat number 1 goes to Whelan. Looks like Root will get Leclerc for 2nd. Yes, he will. Leclerc latches onto his back there and goes point JLV down of him on the finish. That's 148 for you folks at home counting. Jeremy Kohenauer. Across the line in 4th. Roy Mitchell back here in 5th. Should be fine. Jeremy Siebold, nice salvage job. 17th to 6th in this one. And it sets him up with a little bit better gate pick for the main event. Might end up close to the doghouse. Brock Pearson, he'll end up 7th. 8th for Schmidt. And Fred Heather will come across in 9th to go to the main. Jeff Cooper misses out. Eduardo Simos isn't going through either. Alex Heckman in his first race all year, not going through either. He's in 12th there. Sean Smith and Caden Speck. Reed Young, Peter Like, Benny Landry, Logan Heagney, and Ryan Turner. Kyle Carpenter not making it through. Let's take a look at cuts. Looks like Schmidt got Pearson on cuts, but that stays. They both are in transfer positions there, so nothing changed. And Bryce Whelan confirmed race winner, 450 heat number 1 here in Denver. Mile High. Yeah, baby. Whoops. Just dropped my controller, don't mind me. And we're getting a restart going here. Excuse me. Coming up next, we will have ourselves 450 heat number 2. This should not only include defending champion Jack Haley, but it should include last week's winner Walter Gebhardt and third in points Colton Mitchell. So this one's going to be a little bit star-studded this week. We'll see how everybody does. If you guys have any questions you'd like to ask myself, anything I could answer about the game, or anything really in general, feel free to ask it during these breaks. It's a good time to do so. While we patiently load into the server. Do bikes have less power in Denver in Sim 2? No, they do not, because this game is not climate-based whatsoever. You can even make it look like it's raining, and it doesn't matter. All that changes is if you change the texture, or I'm sorry, the tile map on the ground as to whether or not you have mud traction, sand traction, super grippy concrete dirt, or slippery as can be not concrete dirt. Yeah. All right, 450 Heat 2 getting loaded in. I will try to run through some of these questions that you guys have in chat real quick. I got the job hosting sim races because I started writing race reports and different articles for Race Factory back in 2012. And joined the broadcast team mid-2012, and Wheels and Sween, who ran the series back in those days, did the broadcasting duties, but in 2013 they did not want to do the broadcasting duties anymore, so I helped take them over. And I've pretty much been doing it since then. I did it for VMG TV for a little while, and then we started SYS in 2014 and ran it 2015 through now, basically. So yeah. I will show my first-person settings after this race. All right. Sorry I didn't get through enough questions. I will try to remember to ask that as soon as the race is over. All right. 450 heat number 2. Off and running. Casey Ohlert hopping the gate there a little bit. Land rush into turn number 1. It's Holm on the 17, but Gebhardt's going to get through the corner first on the 5. It's Gebhardt leading Holm, trying to move into second. He's alongside Ash Deering. The 62 of Brandon Holmes is in a good position early. We have Jay Turner up here. Not sure who that is. Tyler Lang with a good start. Kevin Ferzaka sideways in the whoops. He's gone down. Dennis Fjellberg goes through, as does Ohlert and Jeremy Smith on the 4. Then coming flipping into your living room here is the 58 of Joseph Pilsner, and Colton Mitchell's laying on top of him. So Colton Mitchell, who is third in the championship standings, only 20 points down of Siebold, who we just saw finish 6th in that first heat. Way back here, and as soon as he gets up, he gets taken back down again by Chris Channing. So they are both way back in the field now. Way back. Ohashi, Trent Adams, both crashing. Jack Haley's back here as well. He is down, looks like in about 13th position early on. So Haley trying to get sorted. Go after Sabrina Ritzler. Spencer Turley back racing with us on a weekly basis. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of people down in this corner. Sabrina Ritzler goes through. Casey Ohlert and Austin Bear were a couple of the riders down. Kevin Gonzalez, I believe, was another one of them down. and it's throwing a wrench in where everybody is right now. So Tyler Lang is in the final transfer spot. He's got Spencer Turley breathing down his neck, and then Sabrina Ritzler's coming there with Jack Haley right behind her. And this is an absolute freight train of riders coming down this rhythm lane here as they head into the wall jump. Look at how close everybody is. That was 6 riders on the screen at the same time there on the wall jump. But Tyler Lang still holding the final transfer spot. Turley trying to hold station right behind him. Maybe go after him. Jay Turner mixed in here. Again, not a name I'm familiar with, but on this JIBR Skull Candy number 457, holding it down in this 450 division right now. Catching up to Brandon Holmes at the end of the whoops, plows into him, takes Holmes down. So very clearly Jay Turner is an Australian, because that is a clear as day sign of Australian lag with how much he just punted Brandon Holmes to the ground there without hardly touching him in the first place. So Ritzler, Haley, Turley, basically everybody goes by. Haley is just trying to get it into a transfer spot at this point with everything that's going on. He's actually in 9th, but he'd love to work his way around Spencer Turley, and he might have an opportunity here down the inside. Turley holds the spot over the finish line jump. Halfway through here, this 6 minute plus 1 lap 450 heat number 2 in Denver. You're watching 8th and 9th battle it out on the screen. Defending champion Jack Haley trying to get around the number 56 of Spencer Turley on the Spencer Turley team. Haley down the inside, and the whoop's got a great drive, and he's going to put Turley down. Turley was coming over, I think, trying to block the line. Didn't see Haley there. Just a little incidental contact, and it puts Turley on the deck. He's going to go way further back. Losing a lot of positions right there. All right, resetting things. Gebhardt still out front on the number 5. Ash Deering right behind him in 2nd. Adam Holm sits in 3rd. Jeremy Smith has moved up to 4th. Good number there, matching his own number. Kevin Verzaka running in 5th. Dennis Fjellberg is in 6th. Lang in 7th. 8th for Haley. And now 9th for Ritzler. She took advantage of Turley going down to sneak her way into a transfer spot for the time being, and she would try to hold on to that one as Fjellberg is down in the berm. Fjellberg trying to get going on the number 3. Jay Turner lays it over as here comes Brandon Holmes. Fjellberg's trying to get a drive in the whoops from a dead stop. Always tough to do, but a nice job done there by the Norwegian rider. So Fjellberg still holds the final transfer. Can Brandon Holmes do anything about it? Pilsner almost into the back of Brandon Holmes on the wall. Holmes, Pilsner, Ohashi, all these guys would like to go in. Big shout out Balin Jones in chat. $2 donation. Really appreciate it, Balin. Good to see you back around. Sometimes I see you on the stream, sometimes I don't, but good to see you here tonight, buddy. He says, yo, Kellen, thanks as always for the stream. Hey, thanks as always for showing up and watching them. Always appreciate it. You guys supporting these streams week after week, year after year, making it such a pleasure to come back and broadcast it for you guys. All right, so Walter Gebhardt still out front, and I think, let's see, this is going to be really close with time expiring. He's going to have 20 seconds. Yeah, I think he's going to get back to the flag before time expires here. 15 seconds onto the wall jump. Coming to this berm here, it's down to 10 seconds. Man, this is actually going to be kind of close. 54, 55, 56, so no, 4 seconds left on the clock. 2 to go now for Gebhardt, as now the 6 minute mark passes, which means white flag will come out next time by, hence the 2 to go. Ash Deering still has a strong second place going. Will Whiteley dropping off $2 in chat as well. Thank you, Mr. Will Whiteley. Just a little nice heart there, letting me know he cares. MXS cares. Thanks, buddy, appreciate it. Adam Holm has crashed for your viewing pleasure for that $2 donation. And still with no bottom fork tubes, Jeremy Smith on his hovercraft swapmotolive.com 450 out here cruising. He moves up into third after home went down. I'm so confused. I think this was done on purpose, because the only way you can have that malfunction happen is if you take it out on purpose. I think if you move your fork upper, well, there's a fork lower tube file that you can put in as a JM, but I don't think that's specific just to the fork tubes. Maybe it is. So I guess maybe I don't have Jeremy Smith's fork lower JM on his swapmotolive.com bike, or maybe I do, and just on purpose they made it transparent, so it looks like he has no bottom fork tubes. It's kind of funny though. Looks interesting. As mentioned though, white flag is waving. Jeremy Smith was closing up on Ash Deering, but nothing doing. Meanwhile, Walter Gebhardt, one turn to go. Wire-to-wire win. He is looking good here tonight. Walter Gebhardt takes the win. 450 heat number 2. Ash Deering might just hold off Jeremy Smith coming to the line. And he will. Second and third over the line together. Adam Holm looks like he's got fourth wrapped up. Tyler Lang in fifth. Sixth for Jack Haley, so he's going through. Kevin Frazaka, 7th, 8th for Sabrina Ritzler. And how about it? Colton Mitchell has moved it all the way up to 9th after being down twice early on in this race. And you can see just a little bit of a bike hump over the finish line jump. He's excited about that. Kevin Gonzalez, gonna miss out. He's going across in 10th. 11th, Brandon Holmes. 12th will be James Ohashi when he gets here. Yeah, so as this 450 heat race is ending, go ahead and ask your questions in chat, guys. So as the next load screen is displayed, I can scroll through chat. If you have any questions for me about the game or anything, let me know. I'd be happy to answer. So let's take a look at cuts. And looks like Haley got Lang on cuts for 5th, but that was it. Everybody else stayed the same. And it was Walter Gebhardt with the win here in 450 heat number 2. Last chance qualifiers coming up next. And this 250 LCQ actually has a couple big names in it that we're really going to have to keep an eye on. All right, let's see. Questions. We have questions coming in chat. You guys have questions for me. It would asking Alex Efforts if he's going to pick the whole shot winners. All right, let's see what questions you find folks have for me in the chat. What happened to Hinters? So Jeremy Hinters, at the time in 2017, there's a couple things that led to it, but basically he was working at a gym. His hours increased. He was starting to get into a more kind of higher up role, and he also had just injured his shoulder really bad, so he took a lot of time off from the game. And with that, kind of basically said he's going to take time back from really basically just being involved with SYS. And I said, you're always welcome back whenever you want to. And since then, honestly, I haven't seen him much, but it was kind of a mutual parting of the seas, I guess. Like he went his way, I went my way. And yeah, no hard feelings from my side. I don't think there's any hard feelings from his. It was just different timing for both of us. I was working on the channel pretty hard, and he just didn't want really to be involved in it anymore, and I get it. So we moved on. All right, let's see what else. Why is Wood no longer announcing? So my wife is in her 3rd trimester of her pregnancy, and I've said this before, I'm not particularly worried myself about getting coronavirus, and I don't believe A. Wood has coronavirus, but we've pretty much put it on lockdown at my house right now just to make sure my wife and my soon-to-be infant daughter doesn't have any contact with it. We're just playing it safe. Eventually, we'll get people back in the booth, but for now, it's just going to be me, just because we're playing it safe there. Let's see. Anyone repping Yamaha at all? Yeah, the System Decal boys are on the Yamahas. Am I ready for B14? I don't know what that is, but sure. This computer system, I mean, there's a variety of computer systems you can use to run this game on. There's not one magic computer system that will run it. So there's a lot of different ones you can use. It just depends on what other games you're trying to play, I guess. Where is Rude at in the standings? Haven't been around enough this season to keep up. He's well down the order. He's only raced about 2 or 3 races so far this year in the last couple of weeks. So not even in championship contention whatsoever, just out here racing, trying to win races. Can we bet on these races yet? Travis Marks. Sure, if you want. There are plenty of people I think that would be willing to throw cash on the table for these races, but I don't personally have a line set up anywhere, and I don't think there's a Vegas line either, but maybe. I'm not 100% sure. Thank you, Alex Efforts, by the way. Don't forget your Studio ATE whole shot picks for the mains rider payouts as well. Yeah, that's right. $5 going to our whole shot award winners tonight, and if I correctly pick them in the main event, ATE Studios has given me $5 donation as well, so appreciate that, Mr. Alex Efforts. Love the support as always that you bring for this and putting the stadiums and everything like that together. I definitely miss Awood. Oh man, I miss Awood so much. Bummer he's not able to do this with me. So the reason I don't use Discord for commentating is because we've kind of come into this now problem where Awood and I are used to watching the same screen together. You can't really do that in Discord unless you screen share with them in Discord, which I don't want to do. What we used to do is we would just watch 2 different screens. He would watch his, I would watch mine. We'd commentate the race, but sometimes it just makes for terrible commentary because I'm talking about the leaders, he's talking about the battle for 5th. It just sometimes doesn't work, so yeah. Oh, B14, Beta 14, and MX bikes. Yeah, stoked for it. Can't wait. Anybody else I missed? Let's see, did I get... Do people play Sim on Apple products? Yes, people have played Sim on Mac. My old friend Todd Gutierrez did it a lot. You need a Windows emulator to be able to play it. But yes, you can play Sim on the Mac. All right, thanks for all the questions. We are back, set to go in this 250 Last Chance qualifier. Big names in this one. Who is going through in Denver? Oh, we're off and running. A couple guys hit the gate. Into the corner first. It was Tyson Craig and Billy Kunitz making contact. And it's going to be Daniel Irvine, LTF, with the whole shot. Robert Wilson right there in second. Benjamin Saves coming down the inside in third. And then Jake Warden will settle into fourth. Tanner Rogers is back here. Chase Donovan. This is one of the big names we're focusing on, though. Logan Leitzel. He is a 2-time winner in the 250 East Division. Wants to go into this showdown tonight if he can. Jake Rose, Dale Mullins, Kyler Hockey, and Dylan Copeland, another guy who was a red plate holder on that East Coast. Again, would really like to make it into this main event to keep things close in this East Division Championship between them. So we'll have to keep an eye on their progress. Meanwhile, up front, Daniel Irvine leads lap number 1, Saves, and Wilson battling it out. Tanner Rogers has moved up to 4th. So Ken Rogers on the 499 hold this spot. We got a 4-rider freight train developing out front. Oh, and Benjamin Saves goes down in the whoops. Robert Wilson hits him. There goes Dale Mullins into 3rd. And trying to go into 4th. Oh, Wilson gets put back down. Copeland is stacked up in the corner. He lost several positions. Looks like Leitzel was able to make it through, and Leitzel is going to go through into 5th, I believe. Jake Rose is now in the final transfer spot in 4th. He's right behind Dale Mullins, who sits 3rd now. Tanner Rogers has moved up to 2nd, and it's still Daniel Irvine out front. Logan Leitzel at the very back here would love to try to make it into this main event. They settle in there. Tyson Craig, Jake Warden. Oh man, this is crunch time for Leitzel. Side by side, Jake Rose and Dale Mullins as they enter the whoops. Jake Rose get a big kick right there, but he saves it. Oh, now he's off the side of the track. Let's see how he gets back on here. He's going to double his way in, double again. And here comes Leitzel down the inside with a triple through the top blocks and takes him down. That's going to be questionable, folks. That will be questionable. You're not allowed to cut the track in order to take somebody out. I know that's kind of how the line goes there, but he definitely went inside of the tough blocks, and he put Jake Rose down. If Jake Rose does not go to the main event tonight, oh man, there is going to be some interesting discussions going on. But for now, all Leitzel can do is try to ride this thing out. Daniel Irvine is down, so our leader has gone down. And he has lost several positions. Jake Rose jumps inside of Benjamin Saves and Daniel Irvine to make a move. He is desperate to get back to the front and not let this thing go by the wayside. He was in a great position. He's now sitting in 7th. He's behind Jake Warden, Kyler Hockey, and Craig Richards, who has now moved into the final transfer spot. So Logan Leitzel up here in 3rd. Definitely going to get an earful from Jake Rose at the least. Whether or not he gets an earful from Race Factor Gaming, different story. Not entirely sure how that's going to play out, but we'll see. Tanner Rogers, his teammate, is leading. There's a 5-minute plus 1 lap LCQ. 4 minutes down. A minute and a lap left to go. Dale Mullins sitting in 2nd. Logan Leitzel, he's sitting in 3rd, and he is charging. He wants to try to get this win. I don't know if he thinks that might save him here. I don't know. Maybe they'll give him a 2-spot penalty, something along those lines. He's definitely going to get cuts. He was through the bales, no doubt. And Richards sits in 4th. I guess it could be all good here, though. Look at Jake Rose. He's using that same line now, jumping inside of those tough blocks, just avoiding the pole, but still landing on the inside there. So I'm curious to see what happens if Jake Rose can make it into this main event, whether or not anything comes from that. Because if he doesn't, then that Leitzel contact is definitely a big reason why he wouldn't be in. And I would be very curious to see how they play this. It's not the first time either, and the reason why I keep bringing it up, that Race Factor Gaming has pulled somebody out who made it in or transferred through in the last chance qualifier due to either an illegal maneuver or dirty riding tactics along those lines, and put the person that they took out essentially in because of that. And Rose still going through the tough blocks there. Rose might just get this though. He is closing up on Craig Richards, and Tanner Rogers has slipped back to 3rd. So Leitzel is up to 2nd now. That means Dale Mullins is out front. But he's down. Dale Mullins is down. Leitzel's going to go through to the lead. Tanner Rogers in 2nd. Richards into not 3rd. He gets passed by Jake Rose. Jake Rose goes into 4th, and he's trying to hold this final transfer spot. Oh, Richards slides into him. Rogers went down. Jake Rose moves into 3rd, and he's going to try to go after Dale Mullins here for 2nd. Did he get the on-off clean? He got, oh man, down the inside. That was beautiful maneuver by Rose. He's going to go through the tough blocks again. He goes down. Jake Rose goes down. Richards hops over top of him. Tyson Craig goes down. Logan Leitzel's going to take the win in the LCQ, but it's all going on behind him. Mullins, Richards, Jake Rose down again. Jake Rose goes down again with 1 turn to go, and Tanner Rogers goes to the main event instead. What just happened? Donovan, Rose with the disconnect, frustration level over 9,000, folks. Tyson Craig, who was about to go into the final transfer spot, then crashed. He'll end up 6th. Donovan is going to be the first man out. He comes up just short this week. Dylan Copeland, Jake Warden, Kyler Hockey, Robert Wilson, Jake Rose, we know. Benjamin Saves, Dalton Plessinger, Daniel Irvine, Rogan McIntosh, Jonathan Alexander, Julian Bomer, Billy Kunitz, Cooper Hunt. Just to name a few that are out of this one tonight, and we're still waiting on everybody else to come across the line. Daniel Irvine and Rogan McIntosh exchanging pleasantries on the finish line. And over the line, eventually, there's McIntosh. Cuts are in. Leitzel lost the win on cuts. He had 5.2 seconds of cuts, so definitely did affect him by going through those tough blocks. Jake Rose had 7.13 seconds of cuts, though, so Rose actually had more cuts than Leitzel. But again, it's not about how many cuts you have. It's about the timing of it. He went through the tough blocks to make an aggressive block pass and put Rose on the ground. So I'm curious how that's going to play out. I don't think, I'm not sure Race Factory's going to say anything about that. Jake Rose just came in here and says he's not too fussed about it, but still, definitely something to keep an eye out for. That was a wild last chance qualifier. I can't believe that. That almost went from Logan Leitzel and Jake Rose making contact, battling for the final transfer spot, to them finishing 1-2 in the LCQ. As it turns out, Leitzel loses it, and I believe it was Daniel Irvine who got the lawyer win there. But Rose, who was sitting in second, crashed, got up, was trying to get it into fourth, fell again, got up, and lost the final transfer spot. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. All right, folks. Here comes the 450 last chance qualifier here tonight. Hopefully you've been enjoying us broadcasting this event for you guys. Be sure to like it. Let us know that you guys support the channel for sure. But again, really appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Round number 14 of the 2020 MotoOption SX Series here from Denver. Colin Brower in the booth bringing you guys the action tonight. Alrighty. .450 LCQ should be a pretty good one too, because I think there's going to be some people in this LCQ that are trying to make their first main event of the year, and as we get later in the season, the opportunities become less and less available. Some guys send it a little bit harder. This track is definitely raced very interestingly tonight. Doesn't have a lot of opportunities for passing, but it has a lot of opportunities for mistakes more than anything. The Legends DLC dropping for SX3 in sometime mid-April is what I heard, but that is unconfirmed, and Milestone might be pushing their DLC back since everything in Italy is shut down right now. I don't know. I know that basically every other YouTuber has posted videos about the DLC already because there's a glitch that you can use to get the DLC in game, but I feel that's a little disingenuous, and I want to make sure that when I promote the DLC, it's because it's actually released and you guys can download it for yourself as well. So we'll wait to post about that DLC, but it's pretty cool stuff. Definitely very interesting, and yeah, when it comes out, definitely try it out. All right, 450 LCQ time. Some big names in this one trying to go through into the main event. Denver, it is time to go racing. Good jump out of the middle from the 56. That was Turley going deep into turn one, but it is Alex Heckman with the whole shot. SYS FamMX Racing. That's right, that's my teammate. I'll give him a little props. Thanks for ripping a whole shot and making us look good. We don't have many guys racing for that team this year. Ethan Park's the only other guy that's even qualified for racing, but Heckman, of course, is going to wad it up with the lead, make us look terrible. But I appreciate the whole shot nonetheless, Heckman. All right, back to the racing action. Caden Speck takes over the race lead. Sean Smith second, Jeff Cooper third, and Simos now in fourth. So Simos trying to get a little bit of a gap established between himself, Ohashi, Pilsner, Austin Bear, Brandon Holmes. Again, a lot of these guys trying to make their first main event of the year. Oh, Pilsner gets a little wheel tap there from Ohashi. So settling in, it is still Speck out front. Caden Speck on the Ignite code number 87. Up and down season for him. Made some mains, hasn't made some mains. looked definitely very fast on some occasions, as has this man, Sean Smith, on the number 80 Viraco CTF machine. This, to me, has been one of the more pleasant surprises of the year, I would say, Sean Smith. He's a guy that kind of picked up a lot of his points racing outdoors last year, didn't see him much indoors, and really has shown through in the Supercross series this year. He has been battling for main events week in and week out, and in some cases been battling up front in those main events as well. So good to see the number 80 machine having a good year. Jeff Cooper gonna move into third for Hemlock with Joseph Pilsner on the 58 right behind him, but Cooper tucks the front wheel and goes down. Austin Bear has to avoid the inside of him, looking like a young Ken Roxon out there on the 94 MXLocker.com machine. So Cooper gets up behind him in fifth now. Oh, and he's going to go right back by him because Bear was down in the whoops. So again, changing of places, and there goes Kevin Gonzalez making the move on Brandon Holmes through the whoops. Jay Turner goes flipping over the top of Austin Bear as a couple riders go through. Trent Adams, Kyle Carpenter, just the name of the couple. And ahead of him, Brandon Holmes. Whoa, big left turn for Carpenter mid-rhythm. Trent Adams will take advantage of that and scooch on by. So Brandon Holmes, Jeff Cooper up the road here, Joseph Pilsner. Sean Smith still in second, Caden Speck still leading. So it's really this battle for fourth that's the close one here. Brandon Holmes, is in fifth. Kyle Carpenter back in seventh. They need all three of them to go run down the man in fourth up the road to them, and Holmes just made a big mistake, cost him 2 spots. Carpenter launching over the Dragons back into the whoops. Right there on the back door of Trent Adams. Short on the triple there. Down the inside. And yep, he will get that move done. Brandon Holmes goes on by. And then Adams crashes in front of them. So this moves them up to fifth and sixth. But again, they still need to get to fourth. This is great tight action we're watching here. Carpenter might make the move here with this inside. No, just can't quite get it there. Sometimes it's just mesmerizing to sit here and watch the battle actually happen. These guys are not really closing up too much on that fourth place position, though. Man, I have just been a tongue twister all night long. Not sure what I'm doing, but clearly it's all wrong. Oh, Carpenter jumping off the track. Nice salvage there, doubling back on. And then off the track again. Brandon Holmes comes over, Jeff Cooper up the road, Pilsner, Speck, and Sean Smith has taken over the lead. But now he just went down. So Speck goes back by for the lead, and into second goes Pilsner. Smith gets up in third, and Jeff Cooper is here in fourth, and this battle for fifth continues to rage on. Kyle Carpenter, Brandon Holmes, nose to tail. Oh my goodness, Holmes rides a huge wheelie at the end of the whoops. Nice save, though. Loses a spot to Benny Landry in the process. And Carpenter goes down. So these guys go both go by him, and those are lapped riders on the ground mixed in with them there. So right now, Jeff Cooper really in a cruise control position. He doesn't have a big enough gap to not afford a fall-off crash. If he falls off, those guys will catch up to him. But at least for the time being, look at him taking it very easily there. Double, triple, single. I think the whoops are probably going to be his bigger problem. He's just got to get through these clean. Lands in the pocket. Ooh, hopping, and there he goes. He's down. Jeff Cooper goes down. Brandon Holmes is going to take over the fourth spot just as Cooper gets going. Now Benny Landry is sitting right behind Holmes here. What is he going to do? Is he going to have a shot at making a pass on him? Meanwhile, up front, Speck is going to come through. Speck has taken the win in the LCQ. Pilsner second, Sean Smith in third. Brandon Holmes through the tough blocks. That could come down to cuts right there, folks. If Landry gets close enough, you never know. Just get close enough. Don't force the issue. You don't need a desperation pass if you just get close enough. And Brandon Holmes across the line fourth. 1.3 seconds is the gap. Right behind him, Benny Landry is going to have to hope for cuts. Gonzalez, Ohashi, Canning, Carpenter, Jeff Cooper. Jeff Cooper, half a lap from the main event here tonight, crashes in the whoops. I almost feel bad because that was actually a pretty gnarly commentator curse where I said the whoops are going to maybe be his trouble spot, and then the crash in the whoops. Wow. But again, another wild finish to this LCQ, and we're still waiting on cuts. I think cuts could affect this result. Brandon Holmes going through that inside tough block there. You never know how much that could affect it. And there it is. And it did! It cost him fourth in the race. He had, let's see, 3.34 seconds of cuts, and it cost him fourth position as Benny Landry takes over the final spot to the main event. Unbelievable. Now, I don't think 3.4 seconds comes just from that one cut in that inside turn. It's probably a couple other things that he did, but definitely something that when you're in these races, you shouldn't always rely on it. But if you do know that your competitor has cut the track a couple times, just get as close as you can. It's better trying to get close than take a desperate move. Maybe you fall, you end up 10 seconds down, then you don't get the spot on cuts. So Brandon Holmes, he is going to the grandstands tonight and is done racing after this one. It looked like he qualified in, but he has not. Cuts have ruled him out, and he has come up just short tonight as we head to the main event. All right, yeah, so go ahead, guys, ask your questions in chat again as we roll through into these main events. I'm going to pick my whole shot winners for tonight. We have the showdown, and then, of course, the 450 main event. I'm going to say whole shot. I'll go 250 will be Copeland. No, because Copeland went through the LCQ. Let me rethink that. I'll say 250 is Eagland. And I'll say 450. I'll say 450 Leclerc. Whoops, out of virtual memory again. TRZMI wants to know my first person settings. Here it is. I do FOV at 110, 1 for the height and 25 for the angle, and there's no gimbal. So, yep. Although I guess I should use a gimbal if we're going to do it for broadcasting. I'll play with that sometime next week. All right, let's jump back in the server. Everybody's still hanging out in chat. 320 live viewers tonight here on Start Your Systems for round 14 of the 2020 MotoOption SX Series here from Denver. So glad you guys could join us. We have the main events coming up next, and the first main event that will happen is a big one. It is the first East-West showdown of the season. Download more memory, yes. Actually, my computer is... I could get more VRAM, I think. I don't know if I have any more ports, though. I'd have to open my PC and look. But I think I have 16 gigs of VRAM. I think that's not terrible. I guess I get 32, but I don't know what the point is. I run out of memory in other games sometimes, too. But my computer's normally pretty good. Honestly, it's just Sim having to download all the skins. And... it stacks up. Like, honestly, my personal folder, I have Sim installed and my personal folder and Windows installed on my 220 gigabyte solid state drive. I think my personal folder is like 60% of that. It's insane. Like how many skins I have to download, and it's insane. And I still don't get everybody clearly. I try to get everything from the skins thread. I opened Discord today. I had 28 new messages. So many people sending me skins. It was unreal. Yeah, I'm going to be out here downloading more RAM. Grant Schaefer, no, you cannot get this game on PS4. It is available for the PC only. Hey, Austin. It's going good, man. Good to see you here tonight. I am definitely not the god of Sim. That would probably be Tyson Fresquez, I would say, is the god of Sim. I mean, JLV, technically, since he created it, would be the god of Sim? Question mark? How do you feel about the Generals Cup Brian Deegan is hosting? It'd be cool if he partnered up with RF. No, I think it's a cool idea. I wanted to host a Supercross 3 event on, for Racer X. We don't really have that authority or that connection. Like, we can't throw up a purse for that. So that's kind of a problem that we have. Like, we can't entice pro riders to compete in the Racer X Supercross 3 series because we don't have a purse to throw up. Deegan had $1,500 he threw up, which isn't a lot, but it's more than nothing. And so these guys win $500 or whatever. So I think it's really cool that he did it. And Racer X, we may still do something. I'm not going to say what, but we may still have something in the works to put together. So, yeah, we'll see. Did I miss any questions? I think Leclerc and I are cool. Yeah, we had beef back in the days, but, I think we're good now. All right, folks, time to go racing here tonight. It is the first East-West Showdown of 2020. And it's live right here on SYS TV. Let's go racing in Denver. Somebody hit the gate, and it's going to be a land rush into turn number 1. Dickerson and Mills side by side. Daniel Mills picks up the Race Factory Gaming Whole Shiat Award. He's going to be $5 richer because of that. D Mills out in front. His teammate Carter moves into second. We got Dickerson up there in third on the number 1. And here comes Carter trying to take the lead. Carter going to the lead side by side with his teammate D Mills over the triple. Oh, Carter slides out. Carter slides out, and that's going to open up some opportunities. Carter just needs to finish 17th or better, and he is the West champion here tonight. East championship cannot be clinched tonight. So Daniel Mills brings us down to complete lap number 1 and come across the line, leading the race here in the East-West Showdown in Denver. Down the inside goes Isaiah Dickerson, last year's 250 East champion. That's why he's running that number 1 plate, and he takes over the race lead. Mills trying to fight back, going down the inside, now crosses over and just settles into line. Eagland, Dickerson's teammate, battling on that East Coast championship with Isaiah Dickerson. Settles into third. Owen Hillman is in fourth. Tyron Tomich a strong fifth early on. Logan Leitzel is in sixth. Craig Richards in seventh. So the 2 number 1 plates inside of the top 10 right now. Oh, there goes Hillman down, and it caused Tomich to get hung up. Alex Kerr goes through. Tanner Rogers goes by. Tomich now has the East Championship leader, Dominic Tiberino, right behind him on the 77. Then Chase Blakely back behind him. Owen Hillman got going. And then we have Zoe Cross, Gunnar Fugler, Dale Mullins, and then our West points leader, Braden Carter. Now Carter, as he runs, still in a position to clinch the West Championship here tonight. But definitely was hoping to probably pick up a win here tonight and was in a really good spot early to do so before sliding out and falling way down the order. On through turn 1. No, Alex Efforts, I did not guess right. I picked Colby Eaglin and got it wrong. I mean, I think Awood did actually pick Mills, so I don't know how you classify that. Awood would be here broadcasting in any other normal circumstance, but different circumstances right now, obviously. So it is Dickerson from Daniel Mills and Colby Eaglin inside of the top 3. It's an MV Film sandwich. The JDR Honda of Daniel Mills sitting in second, but the MV Films riders of Dickerson and Eagland on either side of him in first and third. Let's look back further. Here's Leitzel going off the track underneath the Steve Mathis Memorial nets. He's going to get back on in 5th. Luke Sullivan was able to go by into 4th. Leitzel in a really good spot here, though, after having to go to that last chance qualifier. Terrific job from an outside gate pick to end up in this spot early on. Trying to hold off Craig Richards. West Coast rider, East Coast rider Alex Kerr in the mix with East Coast Tanner Rogers and East Coast points leader Dominic Tiberino trying to find his way towards the front. Had a rider down in that rhythm. I think Tiberino took advantage of it. He is in 8th right now. And fortunate part for him is his nearest championship rival, Isaiah Dickerson, who's only 2 points down of him in the series, is winning this race. So Tiberino's going to move to 7th. But he still needs to get Dickerson if he wants to have the red plate. Of course, after this one, we'll be heading to Foxborough for the 15th round of the series. That will be an East round. And then after that, we will have Vegas and Salt Lake. Rounds 15, 16, and 17 coming up. There'll be a week break in there for Easter, as per usual. Same exact schedule as it would have been in real life, based off of the real tracks in real life as well. But as everything's been pushed back, Race Factory has decided they're chugging along with the series. Tiberino put down a 53.7 last time, 53.6 this time. He is nothing but consistent on the 77. Tyron Tomich on the 311 trying to close up from behind. Craig Richards, defending West Series champion. On that number 1 W Tagger Designs machine, Logan Leitzel just up the road of him. Just made the move on Daniel Mills in the whoops, and Mills got hung up at the end of the whoops as well. And yeah, chat correcting me, I apologize. It is actually Colby Eagland who is 2nd in points, but it's also Colby Eagland who has taken over the lead of the race. So I said earlier, is Dickerson 2nd in points? It's Eagland who is 2nd in points. But he's probably not going to be 2nd in points after this one if he stays out front right now. 5 minutes and a half done of this 15-minute plus 1 lap main event. And Eagland in a really good position out front. How about Luke Sullivan? Morocco CTF number 65 has moved into 3rd and is actually closing a little bit on Dickerson in front of him. Dickerson a little off the track on the inside there. Not sure why, but it seems like Dickerson is experiencing some problems, maybe just out of his groove a little bit. Sometimes the best thing for you in this game is to have a carrot dangling in front of you, and when you get out front, you start thinking about other things. You get out of your mode, your groove, your tunnel vision, whatever you want to call it. Could have happened to Dickerson pretty early in the race for that to happen, but he definitely was in a really good spot and coughed it up to his teammate. Hey, thanks, Alex Effort. ATE Studios dropping $5 donations twice for some reason. You can rescind that if you want, Alex. I don't know if you can, but I could give it back to you. For correctly calling the 250 hole shot, which Andrew Wood, who's my normal co-broadcaster, picked Daniel Mills for the hole shot tonight. He picked up that RaceFactoryGaming.com hole shot award. But since has drifted back a little bit. We got a minefield of riders down in this first section. See if Dickerson can avoid the chaos. Cross trying to get going. Yep, Dickerson hopping over top of him. How about Logan Leitzel moving into the 3rd? So Leitzel has done a really good job salvaging. And right now we have all East 1 through 3. Craig Richards has just moved around Luke Sullivan into 4th. He is now the top West rider, which is a bit of a bummer time for him because he would have liked to win this race without having to deal with East Coast guys in this one. because he's having a great race tonight. But maybe he doesn't get this opportunity without the East Coast guys being mixed in. Daniel Mills back here in 6th. Right behind him is Tomic in 7th and Tiberino in 8th. And Tiberino has still really got to get moving forward to try to claw some of these points back. He's watching this championship slip out of his fingertips in this showdown. Halfway done, around the outside of Tomic. Gets aggressive, but makes the move stick. And up to 7th goes the number 77. Now he's right behind Daniel Mills. Let's see if he can make a quick move. In fact, he actually just makes a mistake in that rhythm section and almost compounds it. Tomic goes by, and here comes Braden Carter, so it's a battle of the red plates. Tiberino on the east, Carter on the west. Red plate holders in both of their respective coasts, and Carter on the verge of winning the championship here tonight. If he stays where he is, that is going to be all his for the taking. And down the inside alongside Tiberino on the wall jump. Tiberino's going to get the power down and try to hold the spot on. And he does. Oh, now Tiberino goes down and Carter runs into the back of him. Something is up with Dominic Tiberino. He is maybe not feeling it tonight or whatever, but it just is not like him to have these small mistakes compound upon each other, and it's really making the situation worse for him because now he's got to try to charge up from a pretty far back gap. In fact, he's going to get passed here by Braden Carter around the outside. So Carter moves his red plates ahead of Tiberino's red plates. Tiberino's still having a couple problems. So Carter now, as it sits, he is running in 8th. That's going to be more than enough to clinch this championship here tonight. Tyron Tomic, man, what a ride for this Australian rider. Again, a guy that really rips in real life. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe he races the MXD class, which is the MX development class in Australia. Either way, really fast kid. Seen a lot of his Instagram videos. And cool to see him putting together a solid ride tonight. He's going around Alex Kerr. I think that moves him to 7th, I should say. And Carter's closing up on him. Carter trying to move it in, and this will be for 7th if he can get it done. Tomic trying to hold the position though. Tomic off the track, the same spot. He did the exact same thing last lap. This one's going to cost him a position as Carter goes through. Tiberino is trying to come through as well. We head back up front and see that lead has changed. Dickerson has gone to the front on the MV Films number 1. Something happened between him and Colby Eaglin that coughed up the lead for the number 24 machine. Zoe Cross trying to latch onto the back of Eaglin. He's a lap down. Kyle Miller giving us live points updates in chat, saying Eaglin would be the points leader. Dickerson would be 8 behind. Tiberino 9 behind. I think that probably has changed, though, since Eaglin has coughed up the lead. So through the whoops we go. Dickerson trying to get as many points clawed away for this championship as he can. This is going to be a really tight battle in this 250 East Division. And interesting to see that as dominant as Carter has been on the West, this East Division is really dominating this East-West showdown so far. Sullivan, the first of the West riders, Richards, and Mills. All 3 guys are on the West, as is Carter. So 4 of the top 7 are West. They're just not in the top 3 positions. Then Tomic and Tiberino are both East. And Hewen is also East. So actually, 6 of the top 10 is East riders. It's just 1 through 3 and 8 through 10, and then that middle split is all the West guys mixed in there. Got an update on points as they run with the new running order, with Dickerson out front. Eaglin is the points leader. Dickerson is now 2 behind. Tiberino 5 behind. Again, shout out Kyle Miller in chat, keeping us updated on the point standings. Eaglin trying to close this thing back down. 2 minutes and a lap left on the clock. We've just passed 13 minutes on the clock. And Eaglin trying to eye up his teammate out front and go run him down if he can. Logan Leitzel has very quietly been closing up on these guys too. He is in third, and he at the very least can see Eaglin now, just up the road of him on a couple corners. Leitzel, a little slide out though. That's going to cost him a lot of time right there. And Richards trying to close it down. So Richards in fourth. Braden Carter's up to fifth. Braden Carter, man, he just wants to be the first West Coast guy at all times. He very well may end up fourth in this race, which would be the first West Coast guy. And he has ridden terrific to get through the field at this point. You can see Craig Richards up the road. Sullivan, Tomic, Mills, Tiberino. Tiberino continuing to go backwards. He is now sitting in the 9 spot. Not the night he was hoping to have here. It's 2 to go out front though. As checking in last time by Isaiah Dickerson. Oh, actually, Eaglin had got to him and went down. Not sure what just happened right there. I don't know if Dickerson was hung up and Eaglin just hit him or what have you, but just as we flipped to the screen there, Eaglin and Dickerson were together, and Eaglin hits the deck again. Getting a report that it was a lapper in the whoops that took him down out of the lead the first time. This time it was more of maybe coincidental contact or his own doing, not sure. But either way, as it sits, Eaglin would still leave with the red plate unless Tiberino can put on an epic last couple lap charge here. Really a last lap charge at this point because Dickerson's about to click onto the white flag. 15 minutes done and dusted. White flag waving here in Denver. Isaiah Dickerson is looking to pick up his 3rd win on the season. And with it, really put himself right back in the mix for this championship. He will not have the red plate, but he will be very close to his teammate Eaglin, who will. Oh, actually hearing if Leitzel's able to get by Eaglin, we'd have a 3-way tie for the points lead. Looking unlikely, especially with Richards even closing up more on Leitzel at this point. But that would be something if that happened. This East Coast class just keeps on giving. Every single week these guys are close and battling. And even though it was a showdown, boy oh boy, it was an East Coast domination on the podium at least. Coming down to pick up his 3rd win of the season, it is Isaiah Dickerson. Over the finish line jump. 3.1 seconds back was his teammate Eaglin in 2nd, and wrapping up the podium tonight, Logan Leitzel. Craig Richards just misses out, 7/10 down at the line. Braden Carter 1.5 seconds back of Richards, ends up in 5th. That will clinch him the championship. Braden Carter is your 2020 250 West Division champion with that 5th place finish. Behind him, Tyron Tomic has a career best with Luke Sullivan right behind him. Dominic Tiberino ends up 8th, so he actually picked up a point on that last lap as Daniel Mills dropped a spot to 9th. And 10th, Riley Hewen just holding off Tanner Rogers, coming here in 11th on the 499. And Devin Davis going to end up 12th in this one. It was Hubbard, Blakely, Cross, Hillman, St. Laurent, Alex Kerr coming to the line, Gunnar Fugler, Seth Garrett, Dale Mullins, and Ben Seberg out of this one back there. Taking a look at cuts to see if anything changed. Actually, Tiberino got another spot. Tiberino goes to 7th around Luke Sullivan. So Sullivan had some cuts there, and it cost him 2.17 seconds of cuts. Tyron Tomic, like I said, career best 6th. Great ride there. Braden Carter does actually leapfrog Leitzel. Whoa, Leitzel drops off the podium to 5th. Leitzel from 3rd to 5th in this one. It is going to be Richards ending up on the box with the 1 dub, and then Carter moves to 4th, so that really just really drives the nail in the coffin for his championship. But that's a big move right there. Leitzel, who was in 3rd in this one, going to lose some precious points by, how many cuts did he have here? Let's see. 8.7 seconds of cuts. brutal for Leitzel. Not sure where he was going off the track and what led to that, but unfortunate for him, loses a podium and loses a lot of points with it as well. So Kyle Miller in chat giving us an update now. Eagland, points leader. Dickerson 2 behind. Tiberino 3 behind. And yeah, Eagland actually did almost lose this thing on cuts. Eagland 2.98 seconds of cuts. If he had 3.2 seconds of cuts, which wouldn't be that much more in the cut system, he would have lost this race. Colby Eagland only finished about 2/10 behind him, 1.172 on the sheet. So wow, yeah, that's close for sure. All right, 450 class coming up. And we have a championship battle to discuss in that one as well. All of our championship contenders made it through their heat races. Jeremy Seebold enters this round as the points leader, as he is 15 points up on Jack Haley, and only 5 back of Haley is Colton Mitchell. So there are 3 riders still in it with a shot in this championship. We know Walter Gebhardt is 48 points down, probably too far back to do anything, but he's been really solid these last couple weeks. So yeah, this 450 battle is going to be interesting, folks. Hope you're ready. Strap in. It's time to go racing in Denver. Can Jack Haley finally pick up his first win of the season, his first win in his title defense? Trying to break the streak that Leclerc started last year. Title defenders not being able to pick up wins in their repeat season. While Seebold all the while is trying to pick up his first ever 450 Supercross championship. We got chat lining up and picking their whole shot winners. Slew of people dropping some names in here. So what is about to happen, folks? What is going to happen in this 450 main event? Who is going to win? I don't know. Do you? I don't think anybody does. Not even the person who's about to win this knows they're going to win. So let's find out together, shall we? 20 minutes plus 1 lap. Getting lined up, set to go there on their parade lap currently. Leclerc is 70-something points down. He missed the first 3 rounds of racing, so Leclerc pretty much out of it championship-wise. It's time to go racing in Denver, folks. Parade lap wrapping up here. Everybody sizing up one more time some of the lines they may be taking. And who's going to pick up that RaceFactorGaming.com Whole Shot Award? $5 to the first man across the line in the main event, courtesy of ATE Studios, who does a terrific job creating a lot of bikes and skins for this game, as well as our lovely stadiums that we see most every weekend. Not this weekend, though. Not this weekend. But most weekends, ATE coming in clutch with these stadiums. All right, folks, it is time for the 14th round of the 2020 MotoOption SX Series. It is Mile High in Denver action. Are you ready? Let's turn that board sideways, get those revs up, and drop the gate in Denver. Off and running, good jump from the middle. Actually, outside, it's for Zach into the corner first, down the inside. Who's going to get the Race Factor Gaming Whole Shot Award? Kevin for Zacca, rival decal number 229, RaceFactorGaming.com Whole Shot, as he's out front of Alexis Leclerc, who actually boots somebody higher into the corner. Jack Haley's got a good start. He's moving into third on Adam Holm. And that is crucial championship-wise. Where is Seebold? Seebold down here in about 9th spot over the triple on the first lap, right behind Sabrina Ritzler, ahead of Roy Mitchell, who just went down. So Seebold knows Haley has got a good start ahead of him. Jeremy Smith is also mixed in here on the 4. 252 of Brock Pearson. Seabold able to avoid Smith, who went down, and leading lap number 1, Alexis Leclerc. Oh, stack up on the finish line jump. Verzaka went down, took Haley with him, and Haley, who had a great start, has to roll the finish line jump. He's now going to be back down at about 10th spot, and one of the riders that went through was, in fact, Jeremy Seabold. So Seabold gets a big break right there. Not sure what happened between Haley and Verzaka coming to the line. It caused a huge stack up. It puts Holm into second. Frantic action as Pearson's now side by side. He whips it in Seabold's face, then blocks him coming onto the start straight. Jeremy Smith up the road. Sabrina Ritzler's in a good spot here early. She's in 4th. Benny Landry has moved into 3rd as Adam Holm is by himself in 2nd, and all alone out front is the Frenchman Alexis Leclerc on that Rockstar Energy Husqvarna as he leads across the line. Lap 2 in the books. Many more still to go. Longtime nemesis Adam Holm sits 2nd, Landry 3rd, Ritzler 4th, Seabold up to 5th. Gebhardt is in 6th, 7th for Pearson, 8th for Haley. Oh, and he gets stuck on Pearson in the corner. He's going to lose 2 spots and go back to 10th, it looks like. Whelan and Verzaka both going by. Cohenauer, Speck, Pilsner, Heather, Mitchell, Smith, Root, Sean Smith, Colton Mitchell, well down the field. P19, only 20 points down to Seabold entering, and he needs another huge salvage ride here, or else he is looking at possibly the end of his championship hopes come right here in Denver. So what can the number 6 system decal rider do? We're going to find out here as we peek back up front. Leclerc, Holm, Landry, and Seabold. So Seabold on the charge has moved up to Landry for 3rd. Seabold all over the 143, but makes a mistake in this rhythm section. Not going to get the preferred line. And here comes Walter Gebhardt, who has been really good these last couple of weeks. Won last week in Seattle, of course. 3rd win of the season for Gebhardt. All the while, Seabold's still working on Landry. It seems to me like Seabold is taking a much more measured approach to these last couple weeks. He is not riding over his head whatsoever. There's a lot of go for the win, go for the win, go for the win, or die trying early in the season for Seabold. But right now, doesn't want to rush the issue here with Benny Landry. Knows he has time and knows he's in a much better position than his championship counterparts. But how long does he wait? Seabold gonna get a good drive through this berm. Does he go inside here after the whoops? He gets a drive down the inside of the whoops, and he's gonna make that pass on Benny Landry. Landry cuts back underneath. Oh, Seabold whips it in him over the triple, and Landry's gonna have to settle back into 4th. Now Seabold's next target is his own teammate, Adam Holm, on the number 17 Panini Motorsports right in front of him. Landry still trying to pull up alongside, maybe make a move on Seabold. Gebhardt right in the mix as well. And Leclerc still pulling out a lead on the field with a 5-second lead on Holm now. As we continue to watch Jeremy Seabold. Jack Haley is in 6th. He's only 11 seconds down to Leclerc, which means he's only about 5 seconds down of Seabold right now. And Seabold again botched the rhythm. Here comes Landry trying to close it back down on him. Talked about it in this 250 division, how much of a difference maker that rhythm section could be. And right now it's proven to be a big difference maker so far in the 450 class, because Seabold has not been able to progress as far forward maybe as he'd like, because he's botched rhythm a couple times. Landry receiving pressure from Walter Gebhardt on his heels. It actually seems like they're... Oh, I thought they were catching Leclerc. It's actually a lap to rider. 6.6 second lead for Leclerc out front. Now, I know these guys are on the same team, but I don't know whether or not they are going to play nice. I think they'll play a lot nicer than other people, but I don't know if Adam Holm is about to pull over and let Seabold go by. Seabold gets the rhythm lane clean this time by. Already putting somebody on that Tegrity KTM a lap down. That would be Tyler Schmidt on the 175. So Walter Gebhardt has moved into 4th, and he is now setting sail After Jeremy Seabolt, Benny Landry, Jack Haley. Jack Haley can still see Seabolt at the end of this rhythm section. And he would just be ecstatic if he can run down this group and make something happen. Further back, Pilsner, Cohenauer, Smith, Frizaka, Speck, Root, Ritzler, and then Colton Mitchell. Colton Mitchell right now is circulating in 14th, so he's made up some spots, and he's actually about halfway through the big freight train of everybody. So looking like he can maybe get up to about 8th here before long if he continues his progress. Trying to funnel through the field. A couple riders going down there. Sean Smith was one of them. Frizaka down the inside. And now Seabolt has closed it up on home for second. On off, and Holm doesn't get the mid-triple. Seabolt jumps over his teammate, moves into second. And that is just the opportunity he needed right there. It wasn't really team orders. It was just a small mistake out of Holm and an easy-peasy pass. Doesn't have to get aggressive, doesn't have to make a block pass, doesn't have to pass him in a weird spot. Just moved right alongside of him in that rhythm section. And into second place he goes, gets this rhythm section clean again. Leclerc having to avoid some lap traffic down in the whoops. Seabolt's not going to get there in time to hit that lap traffic. Tell you what, Seabolt looks like he's actually picked up his pace a little bit. Let's take a look at the lap times. 49.5 to a 50.6. So yeah, Seabolt definitely has been flying these last couple laps here. Maybe that's his new strategy in the second half of the race here as he now realizes his positioning. Does have a lot to lose though, so I'm curious how he approaches it once we get that halfway mark. 7:50 on the clock, so still about 2 minutes to go until we're 10 minutes into this thing. 4.9 seconds is the gap. Got riders down in the middle of the rhythm there. Seabolt short. Seabolt short on the triple. Holm goes back by. There goes Gebhardt by into third. And that moves Seabolt back to fourth. Jack Haley is up into fifth, and once again can see Seabolt just ahead of him at the end of the whoops. I don't know what it is. That first rhythm section has bit Seabolt more than once already. He's going to get back by his teammate Adam Holm. Oh, but now he's going down through the top blocks and a fall-off crash. There goes Haley. Oh, flipping through the screen is Fred Heather. Haley, the only rider. Oh, I'm sorry, Benny Landry also went through on the 143. Haley getting cross-jumped by Tyler Lang there. That was a close one. But Haley now back in a good position here. And he's got someone between him and Seabolt. Now this gets interesting here. Does Seabolt settle down, try to get back into a pace, or does he panic knowing he needs to try to finish ahead of Haley? Through the whoops again. Tyler Lang, the lapped rider between Haley and Seabolt. He moves out of the way onto the start straight. I'm sorry, Benny Landry still ahead of Seabolt. That's correct. So Haley now trying to run down Adam Holm, and Walter Gebhardt trying to go back-to-back here if he can run down Alexis Leclerc, who thus far has been pretty flawless out front, weaving through lap traffic and putting in consistent laps. But of course, it must be said, one of the biggest downfalls Leclerc had last year, and why he was not able to win a race in his title defense last year, was the second half of the race. We have erode systems in the game, so the track is changing, the ruts are forming, the braking bumps are getting peakier, and Leclerc was really good in the first half of a lot of racing and just could not put it together a second half of a main event in order to win a main event. Now, he's fixed that this year. He's won a couple already on the bounce this season, but not in the championship discussion or fight this year. So it's really just kind of a couple wins to add to the resume for him. Trying to pick up another one here tonight if he can, but curious to see how he reacts to the track changing as it gets worse as the main event goes on. Right now looking smooth. No problems to speak of, but Gebhardt, I think Gebhardt might actually be reeling him in a bit. 51.1 to a 50.6. I'm wrong, of course. What is going on back here? Holm, Haley. Oh, Seabolt catching Haley. disposed of Landry at this point, and through the whoops they go. By the way, Colton Mitchell has put together a terrific charge, and he is now up into, let's see, he's in 9th now, 51 flat last time by. So he was 19th about a minute and a half into this thing, and now 11 minutes in, he's up to 9th, and still could get Kohenauer, maybe Pilsner. Landry might be a little too far up the road, but you never know. What's really curious, though, is this battle brewing here for 4th on the racetrack. Jeremy Siebold can see Jack Haley up the road. And this is essentially the championship fight, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference when they're this close together, because Siebold would probably prefer to take bigger chunks away from Haley and extend his points lead, and vice versa. Haley would like to take bigger chunks away from Siebold, but where they run, it's only a 1-point gap in positioning, which means Haley would only be 14 points down with 3 to go instead of 15. Oh, Siebold almost goes up and over the bars on the wall, though. Oh, and then he gets together with Landry. Landry goes down, but Siebold stays up. Landry is going to be, he's going to maintain that position, as Pilsner wasn't able to quite get there. So Siebold dodges a bullet there, but right now he is, oh my goodness, he is in the mix of absolute and utter chaos. I don't know how these guys are going to move out of the way here. There's 3-4 guys stacked together. Where do they go? Oh, Sean Smith goes down, and Brock Pearson, no, he puts him down. So Siebold goes down, and there goes Adam Holm back by. Here comes nobody. Benny Landry was down again. This is all lap traffic right behind Siebold. Oh my God, so many people down. Adam Holm in that mix. Jeremy Smith and Sabrina Ritz are both down. They're both a lap down, though. So Siebold moves into 4th because of that. Haley well and truly gone from him now. And our 2 lead group pretty far out in front of Haley as well. Leclerc, Gebhardt, Haley into 3rd, Siebold. Adam Holm is going to go down again before the finish line jump. There goes Benny Landry, I believe. Yeah, Landry and Pilsner both go by. Kohenauer is also going to go by. Colton Mitchell picking up positions here. This is a good salvage ride, as mentioned, up to P8. And Mitchell is not far away from being lapped, but he's also not far away from moving into the top 5, which would be a huge salvage job. Right on the back of Jeremy Kohenauer, this would be for 7th. Oh, Kohenauer, mistake on the on-off. Mitchell swings wide and uses it to his advantage to triple by him. Colton Mitchell up to 7th, 5 seconds down to 6th, which is Pilsner right now. Pilsner, Landry up the road of him in 5th. And we have Siebold. Haley, oh, Leclerc went down! Walter Gebhardt takes over the race lead. Leclerc has gone down. 6 minutes almost left to go in this race, and a lap left, and Leclerc has gone down. That puts Walter Gebhardt back out front. We're looking to win 3 on the trot here. That inside rut is getting deep, and it's getting harder and harder to get in there. Siebold still sitting back here in 4th, kind of by himself, as Landry and Pilsner kind of pretty far back there. Mitchell coming through, Kohenauer, Adam Holm. Probably disappointed with his ride here is Adam Holm. Was up front early and has been drifting backwards slowly. Although I don't know where Holm sits right now. He's had a really interesting season, missed some main events, has been switching from 1st to 3rd person. Can't make up his mind there. I think he's officially switched back to 3rd and is getting ready for outdoors, where he's really good in 3rd person. He's making some mistakes here. Hunter Root, Brock Pearson, Tyler Lang, Ash Deering. These guys are all getting lapped now by Jeremy Siebold. who remember is in 4th. Colton Mitchell up here trying to run down Joseph Pilsner right in front of him. This would be for that 6th spot. And you see Mitchell starting to go outside after the finish line jump. He's basically just trying to take the safer lines, stay out of those deep ruts. And Pilsner just went down, so Colton Mitchell moves into 6th spot. What a salvage ride this is for Colton Mitchell in this championship. Can he get Benny Landry for 5th? That remains to be seen. Siebold not going to have a chance. Oh, change for the lead. Leclerc is back out front, but more importantly, Jack Haley is right on these guys, and Haley's going to go to the lead. No, he jumps onto Gebhardt. Gebhardt hit Leclerc and went down. Leclerc goes back to the front. 3 minutes and a lap to go. Leclerc takes over the lead again. Haley gets up in 2nd ahead of Gebhardt, and that's going to allow Siebold to kind of close this gap down quite a bit. So if they go down again, things are going to get really interesting. Not sure what happened, but now Haley jumps off the side of the track. He's going to try to get back on safely. Gebhardt through the tough blocks, moves back into 2nd. What in the heck just happened right there? That was crazy. So Leclerc has reassumed the lead, 5.4 seconds. Gebhardt trying to hold on to 2nd from Haley. And into the whoops we go. Haley still trying to apply that pressure. Oh, what happened to Leclerc? Leclerc went down. We didn't see him. I didn't see him at least. Maybe he's off the track. That gives Walter Gebhardt the lead again, and Haley moves into 2nd. That's going to put another buffer between himself and Jeremy Siebold. But you can bet Jack Haley wants to win this race. Jack Haley trying to win his first race of 2020 after winning that 2019 championship. And with it, he would also take a huge chunk out of those points towards Jeremy Siebold, who still sits in 4th. Walter Gebhardt is the man he has to go through to get it. And Gebhardt just made a big mistake, jumped off the track, somehow landed in the tough blocks and saved it though. Gebhardt, Haley, Leclerc now under attack. Here comes Siebold. Siebold down the inside on Leclerc. Leclerc cuts over, and they both go down. They're both down in the corner. That was 100% Leclerc trying to block the inside line as Siebold came in. So Leclerc's going to get up, and I wonder what's going to happen here. Not even close is Colton Mitchell, who has moved into 5th. But wouldn't this be crazy if Leclerc and Siebold get into a takeout match, and it benefits Colton Mitchell? This is coming down to the wire here, folks. This is getting real interesting. Gebhardt extending his lead. And there it is! Oh, no, he stays on 2 wheels. Siebold gets sent over the inside rut on Leclerc, and he stays up on 2 wheels, so Siebold now has 3rd to himself. Leclerc gets going. Colton Mitchell is coming in the background. My, oh my, this is insane. Leclerc trying to make an aggressive pass on Siebold. It does not work, but that does not mean this is over. Siebold has got to try to hold on to this position here for a couple more laps, which has been uneasy to do with this ever-changing track. Haley losing more and more time to Gebhardt. May be content to settle here for 2nd at this point. But gosh, he's got to be kicking himself to not win one of these things. So Siebold 3rd to himself. And white flag is not waving, 2 to go. And Mitchell has moved into 4th. Colton Mitchell's insane climb through the field from 19th has culminated in a 4th place right now. And if things get real crazy here with a couple laps to go, not necessarily ruling out a podium just yet, as Siebold still tries to keep it on 2 wheels with a lap and a half to go. Yeah, Haley looks like he might be taking it easy. Gebhardt is coming down to take the white flag. Remember, he is 48 points down in the championship. and seems unlikely that he has a shot at winning this thing, but he has been dominating these races 3 weeks in a row. Gebhardt trying to pick up a win. It would be his 4th win of the season if he picks it up here, although he's not making it easy for himself. A real big mistake in that rhythm section, and Haley looking to pounce at any opportunity that he can. One more time through the whoops. Gebhardt clean right there. Just got to get around some lap traffic here. That's Tyler Schmidt. Get this on-off clean, and he'll be set to go. Triple. Avoids the tough blocks wisely, trying not to get max cuts there. 2 turns to go. How about it? Walter Gebhardt, 3 weeks in a row, has won again in Denver as he crosses the finish line first. Jack Haley eluded of the first victory on the season. Once again, slides out before the finish line, still ends up second. Siebold will be third, 1.5 seconds down. Landry's got back around Colton Mitchell, and Leclerc is right there. Mitchell trying to get back around. Landry hits him, and Leclerc goes down. Leclerc backflips, and he's off the bike. But Pilsner's down behind them. There's 4 guys down together. Mitchell's trying to get up first. He will. Can he get the triple into the corner? He does. Leclerc pushes him off the track. And that's Landry down the inside. Gets back by him. Oh, and Mitchell punts Landry. He's trying to get 5th. Leclerc crosses the line in 4th. And Mitchell will indeed pick up 5th. He coughed up 4th with a lap to go and got together with Leclerc, but he still ends up 5th and salvages a great ride tonight. Benny Landry crosses the line in 7th. Cuts are in. And everything stayed the same. What in the heck just happened? Those last 5 laps were insane. Holy smokes. Whew. So it was Walter Gebhardt picking up the win from Jack Haley, Jeremy Siebold, Alexis Leclerc. Colton Mitchell ends up 5th. Benny Landry drops to 7th. His teammate Pilsner tips him for 6th. That was only top 7 on the lead lap. Hunter Root ends up 8th. Adam Holm 9th. And Jeremy Kohenauer ends up 10th in this race. A wild race here tonight where our championship contenders proved yet again this championship is far from over. Haley closes this thing down to 13 points with 4 rounds to go. And man, oh man, I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think at all about what just happened in that main event. That was absolutely insane. That was a crazy 14th round of the season. Leclerc coughing up the win, but then getting together with so many people on the track. Gebhardt wins his 3rd in a row. Haley, another 2nd place finish. Can't seem to find the top step of the podium, but just inching those points closer and closer. If he takes this thing to Vegas and there's only a few points in it, who knows what's going to happen. An incredible night of racing, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. That was a wild finish to the tonight's 450 main event here from Denver. And appreciate you guys stopping by, hanging out here for the 14th round of the series. Want to give a big shout out, of course, MotoOption Clothing for title sponsoring the series for the 9th year running. Every single sponsor with Race Factor Gaming, MXS Lobby, Underground, Raceway and Hobbies, of course, us at SYS, Motivated Films, Race Tech Suspension, of course, also on board. Tagger Designs, of course, JLV, MX Simulator putting the game on for us. Everybody at Race Factor Gaming for putting on a great series every single week, building another great track. The Race Factor Gaming track crew killing it week after week. Of course, big shout out to everybody that donated and everybody, of course, that was just in the chat being active tonight. Really appreciate you guys, as well as everybody that hung out through all the chaos early on in the night. We had server issues, we had internet issues. We got it sorted. We ended up racing. And I think we ended up having a pretty damn good time. So, yeah, great night of racing. Really appreciate you guys stopping by. And for all of us here at Start Your Systems, including myself, Kellen Brower, we'll see you guys next week, I believe. If not next week, the week after in Foxborough for the 15th round of the series. See you guys then.